Hi, I'm Jason Inman. I like to read comic books.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson, and I also like to read comic books.
And we also like to review and recap things that are based on comic book shows, like Legends of Tomorrow. And we're going to jump right into episode 12, tell you all the Easter eggs, and then give you our thoughts about it. So let's hop in that time ship and go, go, go. In this episode, we saw a criminal that was being tortured by the Time Masters disappear into the time stream. Now, this is a fun little CW Easter egg. The effect and how he disappeared into the timeline when he didn't exist anymore was the same as the Reverse Flash disappearing in The Flash Season 1. Next, we heard Ray Palmer drop a mention of Hub City, the place where they spent 2 years in. Well, for any DC Comics fan, you know that that is the place where the Question, Vic Sage, punched plenty of criminals with no face.
And we had the scene where Rip and Heatwave took little baby Martin Stein away from his parents, and the initial name that his dad wanted for him was Jerry. That is, of course, a callback to creator Jerry Conway, who created the Nuclear Man Firestorm.
Now it's time to talk about some of the good stuff we liked in this episode. Ashley, what did you like in the time travel gobbledygook of the episode?
Well, I really liked the time travel gobbledygook, especially because it brought us all of the little kid versions of the different characters in Legends of Tomorrow. However, why we gotta get Ray Palmer from like 3 years ago?
Well,
I've already seen that.
Because we have to use the arrow set.
I guess, but it would have been nice if we cast another little kid, maybe the kid who played Spock in the first Star Trek movie.
As young Ray Palmer?
As young Ray Palmer.
Okay.
Would have done a great job. It was really interesting to see a very condensed, heightened version of all of these characters. And even though Sarah, again, was playing Sarah from the first season of Arrow.
From just before the first season,
She was very, very different. You got to see who they were and what led them to becoming the people who they were. And I think for the most part, they cast really good young actors. Like, young Heatwave killed it. Baby Snart nailed his performance throughout the episode.
Baby Rip Hunter. Or Kid Rip Hunter nailed it as well.
And looked exactly like Arthur Darvill. Like, it was so weird. But I thought that it was a really interesting kind of, you saw their entire character arc encapsulated in one episode, and I found that so fascinating.
Well, I like this whole episode as a whole because I like the idea of going back into the past of all these characters. Kind of, we're almost at the end of the season, so we're gonna kind of show you full circle who these characters are. And then this led to my favorite cameo in Legends of Tomorrow, Detective Quentin Lance, full head of hair, wig, and walking around like I never thought I'd see my daughter on a spaceship.
Yeah. It's not a great
good.
wig.
I always knew you'd be a good guy.
But but it does a lot for Papa. It makes him look a lot younger.
Baby, don't you realize that we want to lock up our daughters till you're 30? I'm just saying that. Just see the fact to have Detective Lance back on the show, I thought was a really cool thing. But I thought the standout thing about this episode was diving into Rip Hunter's past.
Yes!
Seeing the school of the wayward Time Masters. The headmaster was dressed in TARDIS blue.
And is an actress from Doctor Who.
Is an actress from and the fact that Rip Hunter child is a pretty screwed up kid.
He's kind of like the Artful Dodger.
Yes.
From Oliver,
yes.
just like, several thousand years in the future.
Yes. The more we dive into Rip Hunter, the better this show gets. I even want to point out that he said that his true first name was Michael.
Oh, yes.
I'm calling it right now. I think he's Michael Carter Jr., son of Booster Gold. That's where I think they're going with this. I don't know how they'll explain like how he was in some weird post-apocalyptic whatever.
Or where Booster was in the point where he became orphaned.
Maybe Booster wanted to train him before.
Or maybe that's when he came back in time.
Who knows? Or maybe it's all a lie.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Rip has lied to us a lot. Maybe young Rip Hunter knew this moment was coming and knew that he had to do something like that. Also, let's talk about in that final battle, they did this really awesome, probably the best special effects shot that I think Legends of Tomorrow has ever done, where they did a 360 shot showing you how the Time Lady, the Pilgrim, froze all the people.
The Time Lady.
And let's call her Time Lady. and she froze all the people, and you get to see them in slow motion. I thought that shot was brilliant. It looked really cool.
I thought it was a great marriage of a practical effect. Like, they used a very a camera that shoots really rapidly and CG enhancement. It looked amazing and it looked expensive, which is a problem
really
that some of these modern superhero shows have, is they don't look like they live up to the budget that we know that we have. But it looked amazing.
All right, now it's time to talk about some of the bad of the episode. Second episode in a row, I was not pleased with Ray and Kendra's relationship. Ray, of course, it was set up a couple episodes ago that he was going to ask her to marry him, and he gets attacked in the past, but it affects the future, and he asks her to marry him. She says yes. Then he overhears in the bad engine room that she doesn't want to marry him, and so he's like, oh, I'm heartbroken. I don't know what to do. I don't like this relationship. I'm glad it's over. No, she affirmed it at the end. I want it to be over, which makes me wonder, is one of them gonna die? That's what I think is gonna happen now. What else did you not like about this episode?
I didn't like, for not to crap on Hot Girl again, but we have the scene where Hot Girl and Sarah, Black Canary, White Canary now, go and they steal little baby Leonard Snart, and Kendra, it gets all gooey-eyed over him, which is something that I believe that she would do. I can live with that.
Well, they do it in a way where they talk, they walk in there and they're just talking like normal people, and then as soon as they see the baby, they both start going like, oh, look at the baby, look at the time travel baby.
And it's a cute baby.
Yes.
But I don't believe that Sarah Lance, especially this version of her right now, has any patience for a baby or any motherly instinct in her.
Has no patience for a baby.
Like,
she will hit a baby with a bow staff.
I need you to not spit up on me. I need you to not poop on me. You're not as cute as you think you are. Let's just get this baby and go. And to me, that would have been a more interesting scene if Kendra was really feeling motherly, and we know she's been a mother in the past, and White Canary was like, we need to go. It was just boring and lazy.
Another thing that was really lazy that actually takes 3 seconds of Google research was the fact that Private Jefferson, Jax's father, he first shows up. He is in a timeline-specific Iraqi Desert Army uniform. Now, first off, I know this for a fact because I was in the Army. I wore one of those uniforms. Now, I was not in the first Gulf War like his father in 93. I was in the second Gulf War, as I'm going to call it. He was a private. They state that he's a private. His uniform says U.S. Army. He has the correct unit patch. I recognize that unit patch. Can't remember off the top of my head. But then his rank, his private rank, is upside down, and it is clear as day. And then to put the cherry on the top of how wrong this was, he's wearing his hat, his cover, as some Army people call it, inside a building. And then two, his hat, his cover, which he should not be wearing inside of a building, that is Army regulations, there's no rank on it.
Yeah.
Which there should be rank on the hat. And as a former military person, I just to double check myself, I was like, well, maybe there's a rank that I don't know about. Yeah. Maybe there's a specialized rank that I never saw that I was in the Army. Maybe that's what he is. Guess what? Nope. And I found that out within 5 seconds of just Googling Army ranks. So I cannot believe that we filmed multiple scenes, because he's in the ending, he's in the beginning, he's on the ship. That guy was there for 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
And the entire time, that rank completely wrong. And as a former Army person, I love the show. Hated that. Hated it. Now, fun fact, we literally just Googled whether the Canadian Army ranks was the same as the U.S. Army ranks. And you know what they did? They put a Canadian private rank on an American Army soldier.
Yeah.
Again, I get it. They filmed the show in Vancouver. But again, within 5 seconds of Googling, we found both ranks. He's a United States Army.
He shouldn't be wearing a Canadian chevron.
Should not be wearing a Canadian upside-down private. And again, it blows me away. There are Americans on that set. Nobody caught it. Nobody caught it. It just bothers me. Now we're going to talk about our rating for tonight's episode of Legends of Tomorrow. On a rating of 1 to 5 Captain Coldheads, we're going to rate it icy to icy hot. Ashley, what do you think?
Ooh, do we want to be icy hot?
Maybe, I don't know.
All right, well, out of the potential 5, I think this was a really great episode, so I'm going to give it 4 Captain Coldheads. So I guess icy hot.
I agree. I'm going to give it a 4 almost icy hot rating as well. I think it's a great episode. They had a lot of fun problems to it. All the nitpicks we had, I think, were technicalities.
They were minor, yeah.
Yeah, very minor, but the overall fun of the episode, I think, was totally there and propelled us forward. So this episode, we learned where Rip Hunter used to sleep his head, where he used to eat his din-din, and now we need to know, if we're going to meet his papa. That's right. Is he going to meet his papa? I want to know down in the comments, guys. Next week is the season finale of Legends of Tomorrow. Do you think we are going to see Booster Gold? I want to see a yes, a booster yes, or a booster no below, because they have hinted that we're going to see a DC character that everyone knows. And to me, naming him Michael, really, God, I hope we see Booster Gold. Now, I don't think we're going to see him in his armor. I think we're going to see Michael Carter in like a Time Master version.
With yellow sunglasses?
Hopefully. Or he'll have a star on his uniform.
That would be really cool.
I have a feeling he won't have the full Booster Gold outfit, and that might be something that we'll see later. Yeah. Or we'll learn that like Rip was like, oh, my dad used to be a superhero.
But he was really lame.
But now he leads the Time Masters.
Ooh.
And then you find out that it's sort of against his dad or something like that, and you'll find, or like, I don't know, they can do a lot of stuff with it. I hope we see Booster Gold, guys. Don't forget that you can support all the shows that we do on this channel at Patreon, including our live video geek history lessons. You can go click and support us on Patreon right there, and you can get ready to celebrate all things Supergirl when you can watch Ashley's review of Supergirl from the finale last week. You can click it and watch it right here, and this upcoming week we're going to have what we want to see in Supergirl Season 3.
Heck yes.
Don't forget to click subscribe. She's Ashley B. Robinson on Twitter. I'm at Jawin, and be seeing you, Time Travel Monkeys.